Okay, so here the first thing first, like few basic informations are there which you have already learned in the previous class, like how to draw the bar graph, how to arrange the data in the frequency table. So these are the very basic concept which you have already learned. However, if since we are going to start with the chapter, we will be going step by step. So the first thing first is how to present the data, like what's the need of presenting the data, why we are learning this chapter, why this chapter is there in your syllabus. First thing first, you need to understand like why you are going to learn statistics. Okay, why we need to know that how to arrange the data properly. So each and every sector, today in today's generation, each and every sector is working with the data. Now if we are talking about the TV industry, or maybe like any company like a Maggie, Colgate, or any company, they work on data only. They see how the people are buying, which area, like more people, like you can say that there are certain regions, so in which region people are loving the, maybe if you are talking about the kurkure, so in this region people are loving this flavor, chili flavor. In another region people are loving onion garlic flavor. So how they are getting this information? They are getting this information from the data only. That's why, like on the basis of that, they are producing the, like they are making the product, they are releasing the product, they are analyzing the product, and then they are making the profit. So you can see it's not only about one company, it's about each and every company, every sector, every company is working like that only. And that's why you need to understand this, like you need to learn this chapter started, you need to uh, understand how it works, how we arrange the data, so that it will not be even the weather focus which you see nowadays, that in the last 10 years this is the first time there is a heat wave, this is the first time it's so chilling over here. How they are saying? On the basis of the data only they are saying these things, right? So they are having the last 10 years data, and then the software is making the work easier and reflecting that this is the first time this is happening. Okay, there is a chance that tomorrow it will, this will be the, like it will rain, it will be cold, it will be sunny, it will be hot. So on the basis of data everything is working, all the industry. That's why we are going to discuss this chapter. So the very first basic concept is how to arrange the data. Now what's the need of arranging the data? If the data will be not arranged, it will be raw data, like written in any way, just like this one. Consider the marks obtained out of 100 by 30 students of class 9. The marks are given in this form: 10, 20, 36, 92, 95, 40, 50, 56, 60, 70. Okay, now 92, 88, 80, 70, 72. Now if the data is given like this, if being a teacher I am going to submit marks of my student like this to the class teacher, they will not be able to know that which one, like who have got the highest marks, how many students have got in the like more than 90, how many students have got less than 90. Or definitely they will be able to figure out from here, but it will take more time. Okay, that's why we need to represent the data properly, so that just by looking at the data they will be able to understand, okay, this is the highest marks, the maximum marks obtained by the student is this much, The minimum marks obtained by the student is this one, and most of the students are getting data, the marks in this range. So they will be able to analyze the data properly if we will arrange it properly. Okay, so that's why we need to arrange the data, represent the data properly. So the first topic over here is presentation of data, which is very important. If this type of raw data or more than this is just 30 student marks. If you will be giving 100 student marks, or maybe the whole school marks, like the all students marks from, like in mathematics, maybe any quiz competition is there, maybe any olympiad is there, so everybody's marks like in one sheet, we are going to give it to the principal. They will just get confused, okay, that what is the range students are getting the marks and all. So we need to arrange the data properly, and nowadays the software is doing the work. Okay, software is making the data and representing it more in an organized way. How we can organize over here, the very basic method will be by using frequency table. So how we will be making a frequency table? We can write marks over here. We can write frequency over here. Now frequency means how many number of time. If I am talking about, we will always represent the sort the data in either in ascending order or in descending order. Okay. Now here frequency, like which, like if I am talking about the minimum, if I am going to arrange the data in ascending order, so here we can see the minimum is 10. Okay, how many times 10 is repeating itself in the whole data? One time. So I'll be writing 10 is there one times only. Now the next one is, I can see 20 over there. How many times 20 is there? If we will be looking at all the numbers, only one time 20 is there. So this is how we can make the frequency table. Okay. Now the next number I can see over here is 36. So you can see 36 over here. You can also see 36 over here. You can see 36 over here. So 3 times 36 is there. This is how we will be making the frequency table. Okay, so that just by looking at 10 marks, one student has got 10 marks. 20 marks, one student has got 20 marks. 36 marks, okay, three students are there who have got 36 marks. So this is the basic representation we are doing by making the frequency table. Okay, rather than writing the data in the raw form, just like this one, it will be more easier to go through the data when it will be written in the tabular form with the frequency. Because like if you here you can see 36, 3 times 36 is there. Similarly here 50 is there, here 50 is there. Now here also 50 is there. So few datas are there which are repeating itself. So why to write it again and again and again? We will be writing it with the help of frequency. What is the meaning of frequency? Frequency means how many times a certain data point is repeating itself. Okay. So I'm not going to write all the data over here. You will be able to understand. I believe you understood only that we are just writing like one of the marks, and we are saying how many students have got that marks, or how many number of time the same number is repeating itself. Okay. Now we can also represent it by using tally marks, which you have already learned in the previous class. When representing in tally marks, we represent the data like this one. One we write as a 1. 2, when we are having a number 2, we write it as a 2. When we are having a number 3, we write it as a 3. Okay. When we are having 4, we write it as a 4 lines. When we are having 5, we write it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then across. Okay, just a second. Six, if we have to write 6, we will be writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one more. 7, if we have to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we will be writing the way we write 5, like this, and then 2 more. This is how we represent the numbers by using tally marks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, everything is just normally line we are drawing. For 1, 1 line, for 2, 2 line, for 3, 3 line, for 4, 4 line, but from 5, we started using 4 line with 1 cross. For 6, we are writing 5 plus 1. For 7, we are writing 5 plus 2 lines. Similarly, for 8, we will be writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more. This is how we represent the data by using tally marks. So sometime it will be written in the question itself. Make the frequency table and also add the tally and also write the tally marks for each and every frequency. So for each and every frequency, we will be marking the 10. We will be writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Got it? This is how we will be writing the data by using tally marks. I believe you already know. Now here, one thing we will be discussing over here about group data. When the data is given in a group, like when there is a huge data, so rather than writing each and every number just like this one, that 10 marks, who have got 10 marks, who have got 20 marks, who have got 36 marks, who have got this marks, that mark, rather than writing the data like this, what we will be doing, we will be representing the data by making the groups. Okay, so suppose we are having a data in the group way, just like this one. Weights in kg, 31 to 35, 36 to 40, 41 to 45, 46 to 50, 51 to 55. Just like this, the data is given. Okay, here number of students. So suppose there is a survey. In that survey, like weight of the student is getting measured in the school, and in between 31 to 35, how many students are there? 9. In between 36 to 40, how many students are there? 5. In between 41 to 45, how many students are there? 14. It is given in the question itself. In between 46 to 53 students are there. In between this, 1 student is there. In between this, 2 student is there. Okay, this much information only I have written over here. So here, whenever we are writing the group data, there must not be any gap between the group. Here you can see 31 to 35 is there, and then 36 is there. Now suddenly one student will come, and if that student is having the weight 35.5, it can be, right? Any student can have this weight. So where I'll be adding that student? In this range or in this range? That is the confusion. If any student, a newcomer came, and that student is having the weight 35.5, then are we going to keep that student in the first group or in the second group? The first interval or in the second interval? So here arises the problem, and the solution to this problem is, let's make this data as a continuous group. Now it is not continuous. 31 to 35 is there, there is a gap of 1. Then 36 to 40 is there. So whenever we are having a group data, always we have to make it a continuous group data. Continuous. Okay. How we will be making it continuous? Whatever be the gap. Let's see the gap. 35 is there and then 36 is there. How much gap is there? One gap is there. So what we will be doing, we will divide 1 by 2. What we got is 0.5. Okay. Now we will be we will be subtracting 0.5 from the lower limit and will be adding 0.5 to the upper limit. What is lower limit? What is upper limit? Let's discuss that at first. This is called lower limit. This is called upper limit. 31 to 35, 36 to 40. This is called class interval. This is also class interval. Each and every one is a class interval. Okay. And the maximum one minus the minimum one, that is 35 minus 31 is equals to 4. This is called the class width or class size. Okay, this is called the size of the class or is called the width of the class. Okay, so now you know the terminologies: lower limit, upper limit, class interval, class width. Okay, we are going to move ahead how we will be making this data continuous. So as I said, first check how much gap is there. So here 35 to
Ma'am,
36. Yeah,
what's the chapter name again?
statistics.
Thank you.
Okay, is it there in your syllabus, right? It's there in your syllabus, right?
This-
Yeah. So we are discussing statistics and we have just started discussing the basic of it. Okay. We will be discussing about histogram, frequency, polygon, everything in detail. But today is just the first class and hence we are just discussing the basic of it. Okay. So this is called lower limit. This is called upper limit of this interval. This is also interval. This is also class interval. This is also each and every class interval is there. Okay. Now what we have to find? We have to, I was talking about how to make this data continuous. Why we need to make this data continuous? Because if anybody will come having the weight, let's say 40 kg, 600 grams, where we will be keeping that student? So that is the problem which arise, and to avoid those problem, we want to make this data continuous. How we will be making this data continuous? I am saying that please check what is the gap. The gap between 35 and 36 is 1. The gap between 40 and 41 is 1. The gap between 45 and 46 is 1. So there is a gap of 1 which we need to fill. So if there is a gap of 1, divide it by 2. Whatever is the gap, divide that gap by 2. Whatever number you are getting, here we are getting 0.5. So what we will be doing? We will be subtracting 0.5 from the lower limit. So from 31, I am going to subtract 0.5. And in 35, I am going to add 0.5. Similarly, from 36, I am going to subtract 0.5. So from 36, we will be subtracting 0.5, and in 40, we will be adding 0.5. Why we are doing subtracting and adding? So that we are not changing the class size. Here we are subtracting, there we are adding. Here we are subtracting, there we are adding. That means the size of the class we are not changing, but we are making the data continuous. Let's check it. In the next interval, 41 is there. From 41, we will be subtracting 0.5, and in 45, we will be adding 0.5. Similarly, in the next one, we will be lower limit से subtract कर रहे हैं, upper limit में add कर रहे हैं. Okay? So here we are subtracting 0.5 and here we are adding 0.5. Similarly, 51 we are subtracting 0.5 and 55 we are adding 0.5. Similarly, 56 we are subtracting 0.5 and we are adding 60 to 0.5. Now let's check what exactly are we getting. So we are getting 31 minus 0.5, that means 30.5, and here 35.5. So the interval which was 31 to 35 now became 30.5 to 35.5. Now the next interval 36 minus 0.5 became 35.5, and this became 40.5. So 30.5 to 35.5, 35.5 to 45.5. Now here you will find that 40.5 to 45.5, 45.5 to 50.5, 50.5 to 55.5, and 55.5 to 60.5. So जो data पहले continuous नहीं था, now it became continuous. You can see over here. It became, if I will rub all the calculation, you can see our data is continuous now. We are having data in this form. Okay. As you can see, all the calculations I am rubbing to avoid the confusion. We got 30.5 to 35.5, 35.5 to 40.5, 40.5 to 45. Now there is no gap. Okay. So this is how we will be making the data continuous. Okay. Now the next concept is, okay, yeah, one more concept is over here, that if we have to, whenever the interval is given, like if I am writing the interval 1 to 9, then 1 to 10, and then 10 to 20, and then 20 to 30, and then 30 to 40, if this type of continuous data we are writing, then here if you have to add, if suppose this one is, frequency is, let's say 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. Okay. So suppose you have, like these are the, let's say, marks of the student out of 50. So 3 students have got in between 1 to 10, 4 students have got in between 10 to 20, 5 students have got in between 20 to 30, 6 students have got in between 30 to 40. Just like this, the information is there. Now if one more student came out, okay, and the student has got 10 marks. So are you going to keep that student in this class interval or this class interval? So there is a rule that says that whenever you are counting the number, whenever you are saying 1 to 10, here 1 will come, 2 will come, 3 will come, 4 will come, 5 will come, 6 will come, 7 will come, 8 will come, 9 will come, but 10 will not come. So these are the number which will come in this interval. So if any student have got marks from here, you will be adding that student, or you will be keeping that student in the first class interval. If any student have got, so when counting the number, we always take the lower limit in consideration, but not the upper limit. Upper limit will go to the next interval since we are having a continuous data. Okay. So basically मैं बोल रही हूँ कि यहाँ पे 10 कौन से इंटरवल में एग्जिस्ट करता है, इसमें या इसमें. So 10 exist in the first interval, the second interval. Because whenever, like, we are taking the number, we will take the consideration of lower limit but not the upper limit. 10 और 20 के बीच में कौन कौन से नंबर आते हैं? 10 और 20 के बीच में 10, 11 will come, 12 will come, 13 will come, 14 will come, 15 will come, 16 will come, 17 will come, 18 will come, 19 will come, but 20 will not come. Now where 20 will go? 20 will go in the next interval here. 20, 21. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
This is how we will be making the data continuous. Every time whenever data is given not in a continuous way, the group data, we have to make it continuous by using the same method. Check the gap, divide the gap by 2, from the lower limit subtract it, in upper limit add it, lower limit subtracted, upper limit added. Keep on doing that, you will be getting a continuous data just like this one. So let's do one question. The length of 40 leaves of a plant are measured correct to 1 millimeter and the obtained data is represented in the following table. Given as 27 to 135, 136 to 144. These are the length of leaves. All right. Whatever is there, we just have to make the data continuous. That is the main thing you are learning, which we will be applying while making histogram and all. Okay. So 145 to 153, 154 to 162, 163 to 171, 172 to 180. And the number of leaves are 3, 5, 9, 12, 15, 4, 2. Make this data continuous. That is the, like, this is what we have to do over here. However, this question is not given exactly in the next exercise. You need to make each and every data. You need to make sure that whether the data is continuous or not, and then only you can move ahead. So that's why this concept you need to learn over here only, because in the next exercise you will be totally, we will be discussing about histogram, and apart from that there is nothing. In the first exercise you will be able to do all the questions by yourself. We just have to make the frequency table. We have to make the maybe we also have to represent it by using the tally mark. So all the previous level concept which you have already learned in the previous class, everything is there in the first exercise. This is one thing which is new over here, which you need to learn. Okay. So let's make this data continuous. Here you can see 126 is there, 127 is there. We don't want gap. Okay. When the data is having when the group data is not continuous, if it is having the gap like this, then in future we won't be able to represent it in the form of histogram. So that's why we need to learn to fill the gap. Okay, here 135 is there, here 136 is there. So you can see the gap is there which we need to fill. So what we will be doing over here? Anyone? Let me know.
No, ma'am, no doubts.
Yeah.
Ma'am, no doubts.
You said, shall I explain?
No, ma'am, I said I have
Yeah.
no doubts.
Okay, you have no doubts. How we can make the data continuous? How can we make the data continuous? We will be checking what is the upper limit and what is the lower limit of the next interval. There is a gap of 1. Okay. If the gap is 1, 126 and 127, there is a gap of 1. Okay. Which we need to fill it. How we will be filling that? Whatever gap is there, divided by 2. Whatever number you will be getting, just subtract 0.5 from here, add 0.5 over here. Subtract 0.5 from here, add 0.5 over here. This way you will end up filling the gap. This way you will end up making this data continuous. So 118 minus 0.5 will be 117.5. 126 plus zero point 0.5 will be 126.5. Now the next one, 127 minus 0.5 will be 126.5, and 135 plus 0.5, this will be 135.5. Now the next one, 136 minus 0.5 will be 135.5. 144 plus 0.5 will be 144.5. Now the next one, 145, 0.5 subtract, it will be 144.5. And the next one, 153 plus 0.5 will be 153.5. 154 minus 0.5 will be 153.5. And 162 plus 0.5 will be 162.5. Next one will be 162.5. And this one will be 171.5. 171.5 to 180.5. Now you can see there is no gap in between the numbers. 117.5 से 126.5 तक. Next 126.5, 135.5. Next 120, 135.5. These two are getting same. Can you see? There is no gap in between. That's what we wanted to fill. That's what we wanted to do over here. Okay. And what about the frequency? Frequency we will be having the same. First one 3, next one 5, next one 9, next one 12, next one 15, next one 4, next one 2. Everything I was having over here, I have copy pasted over here. Just we have made this data. It was group data. It was not continuous. We made this. Obviously we maintain the group data, but we made this data continuous. This is how every time while making frequency polygon, while talking about the histogram, if the data is not in a group form, like group is there but continuous is not there, then it's our job to make the data continuous. Every time you will be checking the gap, you will be dividing it by 2, and then from the lower limit you will be subtracting, in the upper limit you will be adding. This way you are not changing the size of the class interval. This way you are not changing the width of the class interval. Clear? Now let's see a few questions from the exercise which I am going to give you as a homework. First you do the first exercise and the second also, I believe. Then only we will be able to talk about the histograms and all. So the first question says a blood group of 30 students is given. Represent this data in the form of frequency distribution table. What is frequency distribution table? This is frequency distribution table. The data was given in its raw form, like all over the place. It was arranged in a row, and then we have arranged the data in a tabular form by writing the frequency. What is the meaning of frequency? We are just checking each number, like one of the number, how many time it is repeating itself, and that's what we are filling it in the frequency column. Okay, let's do this question. The blood group of 30 students of class are recorded as follows. A B O O A B This is the given data. Okay, blood group of 30 student is given. We have to represent this data in the frequency distribution table with the help of frequency distribution table. Here how many categories you can see? Blood group A is there, blood group B is there, blood group O is there, AB is there. That's it. So we will be writing the blood group category. A is there, B is there, O is there, AB is there. Now frequency means how many times each one is repeating itself. So we will be checking how many times A is there, how many times B is there. So let's count it. A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Am I missing anything? 9 times I can see A over here. If I am missing, do let me know. B. How many times blood group B is there, or how many people are having blood group B? So B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can see 6 times B is there. Now blood group O. How many times O is there? This is how we will be making the frequency distribution table. Okay. Very basic. O, O, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. AB. 1, 2, 3. That's it. 3 times we are having AB. Now At the end, you must add all the frequencies. So if we will be adding 9 plus 6, 15, 15 plus 12, 16, 17, 27, 28, 29, 30. This must come as whatever is mentioned in the question itself, that blood group of 30 students. So our frequency must come out as a 30. If it is not coming out as a 30, that means you have done any mistake while counting. So always add the frequency, match it with the question, that if it is talking about 100 student marks, if it is talking about 40 student marks, if it is talking about the weight of 50 students, so our frequency must sum, like the sum of all the numbers which is there in the frequency table, must be that information. Okay. Here I am getting 30, and the question also says 30 student blood group is there. That means we are on the correct way, path. Okay, now the next part is asking, represent this data in the form of frequency distribution table. We have already represented this data in the form of frequency distribution table. Which is the most common? Can you tell me which is the most common blood group from here?
O.
Exactly, O is the most common because 12 people are having blood group O. And which is the rarest blood group?
B.
B or AB?
L.
AB, you
AB.
said? AB, right? Is it clear? This is how a lot of questions are there, where we just have to represent the data in the form of frequency distribution table. Okay. Oh, one more thing we need to discuss over here. Just a moment. Okay. If the data is like this, example I am taking, if the data is 25, 36, 42, 55, 60, 62, 73, 75, 78, 95, just like this, something, let's say marks of the student is given out of 100, then here the range of the data will be the maximum marks minus minimum marks. Range means maximum minus minimum. So you can see which one is the maximum over here, 95, and the minimum, since it is already arranged in ascending order, the minimum is 25. So range will be 95 minus 25. That means 0, 70. Okay. So this is how we will be finding the range of the data. The maximum number minus the minimum number. Okay, if you are making the frequency distribution table from this data, let's say one more 25 is there, then here one more 55, one more 55 is there, and you are making the frequency distribution table, that is fine. But if the range is asked in the question, you just have to take the maximum data, maximum, the largest number minus the least number. That will give you the range of this data. Okay. So one of the question is talking about the range. Other are talking about make the frequency distribution table. Make a group frequency distribution table. Okay. Class interval is also given. Whenever the class interval is already given in the question itself, easily you will be able to make the group frequency distribution table. Let me tell you how. Here, the information is given as a 0.03, 0.08, 0.08, 0.09, 0.04, 0.17. Here it's written that 0.16, 0.018, 0.01, 0.10, 0.06, 0.09, 0.18, 0.11, 0.07, 0.05, 0.07, 0.01, and 0.04. What the information is talking about, a study was conducted to find out the concentration of sulfur dioxide in the air. So this is the concentration of sulfur dioxide in the air in parts per million, a certain parts per million of a certain city. The data obtained for 30 days. So it is written in the question that this is the data for 30 days. Okay. Make the group frequency data. The information given over here is make a group frequency data. Frequency distribution table with class interval. Class interval is already given over here. That is, take the interval from 0.00 to 0.04, and then the next interval 0.04 to 0.08. Just like that, make the frequency distribution table. Since the already here the interval is mentioned, no need to think about anything else. Okay, we will be making the table like 0.00 concentration of nitrogen, concentration of sulfur dioxide, 0.00 to 0.04. It is given in the question itself. 0.04 to 0.08. 0.08 to 0.12. You will be writing the data. Okay. Now 0.12 to 0.16. 0.16 to 0.20. This is how you will be making the group data. First two interval is already given. Next we are making by ourselves by maintaining the same class size. Okay. If you are getting if you are not getting what to write as a next class interval, here you can see the class size 0.00 to 0.04. If we will subtract this two, class size is